Hello, there's Patricia from Pinky's World, and today I'm making some little gifts for kids to give to their parents, or their mommy, probably more than parents, for Valentine's Day. Inside it has this lovely wee candle holder, a wee heart candle holder, and a wee spotty candle. So that's what I'm giving them, but these boxes could hold anything that you want, just decide what it is you want to put in it. If it's something that's deeper than 3/4 of an inch, just make your band that bit deeper and do the same, and just put maybe a ribbon on it rather than baker's twine, but it will hold nice chocolates, candles, whatever you want. I just happen to have these, 3 of these left, and I want to use them up, and I'm going to be giving them to the grandkids, so we'll see what happens. So anyway, they're really quick and easy to make, quite simple. I'm going to actually wrap that in tissue and put it in, maybe with a wee bit of tissue coming out the top, because it's a bit sparse looking just laying like that. So decorate it up as best you can. The papers are called, can I ever remember the name of these? Country Floral Lane, 12 by 12 inch papers, and to decorate it we use this one. I'm not going to do this today because you know how to do these things. I'm showing you the base of the box. This is the other piece that we used. It's lovely and blue on the other side. Beautiful papers for Valentine's and birthdays, anniversaries, whatever. But I wanted to show you that. The punch, it comes as a bundle when you buy the stamp set, which is here. And it has lots of nice things, and you can stamp these and punch them as well. Same with the leaves. And if you stamp this is one stamp, so if you stamp it properly and then stamp this, you'll be able to punch it all out. But the great saving is that you can punch it out of this. So I'll just show you in the bottom one, even though you're not going to see it all. That will cut your leaves and your heart and your wee small heart at the bottom. Only I've run out of paper here, obviously. On up you'll get that. So it's a great wee time saver, I think, and it's very, very sweet. So that is the papers that we're using, and all other than that you just need your base card, which I've gone with white, but you can go with any colour you want, and that's all we need to know. So let's get started. So I've all my stuff cut out here, and I'll just show you what we're at. You need 2 of your heart decoration ones in the smaller. You need a smaller circle and a larger scalloped, and they both fit inside each other nicely. So the biggest one is about 3.5 inches, so 3.5 one and the one down below it. Keep your scallop one for the largest sizes. So you'll need 2 in the smaller size of the plain white, and then you'll need 2 in the bigger size with the scallop edge on it. So that is your die cutting done. After that you're going to need a strip to join your box together. It needs to be 7 inches by 1 3/4, and then you'll need a strip of matching paper, and it needs to be just under 3/4 inch wide by about 8 inches, just to give you that wee overlap for tucking down. So that is the basis of it all, and we need to start by doing our scoring. It's a very quick scoring. The next part is very slow, so I'll show you what to do and then leave you to it. So you need to put your piece of 1 3/4 inch paper in and score it at 1 1/4, and just spin it round and score it at 1 1/4 again. And that is all the scoring you need to do. So the next part will be, I want to measure this now. You could go ahead and put that in. I actually think I'm going to trim that another wee bit. I want it to be inside the 2 lines, not over them, and it is slightly over them. So hold on, I'm going to trim that, so I'll tell you what measurement it is. So I've trimmed off this bit, so it actually comes right out there. Keep it to, there's the 3/4 inch. You can hardly see that, can you? 3/4 of an inch is there, so just go 1 full notch in the inch section rather than a 1/16. So that should do you better. So see if that wee bit's a nice wee band you could use for something. So now we'll double check this, and that fits in perfectly in between my 2 notches, the 2 score lines there. So that's what we want. So you could actually stick that in now and see if it'll behave itself for you. before we start any cutting. So leave yourself a gap at either side, about 1/2 inch. Don't bother with glue because I want it to cover, flip me, you're going to come out. I want it to cover the baker's twine when I put it in so it's not sticking out like a sore thumb. So that should be okay. So set that in the middle of your score lines. Leaving a bit at either side. Whoops. Slippy glue. And allow that to dry. And then you want to do your cutting. This is the tricky part, or the slow part. It's not tricky. You're going to cut from here up, and you're going to do it in wee gaps about that. That should be fine. So if you keep going the whole way up, both sides, leaving those kind of gaps, come back down it and cut into them. It is a wee bit more time consuming, but it gives it such a better fold. If you try and fold those, eventually you're going to get a point sticking out of your curve, and you don't want to see that. So just go in, trim them all down. Well, it'll just take you an extra minute, honestly. It's not too bad. Just make sure you cut them right up and don't cut your nice paper. So keep doing that both sides until you get all that done. So that took me about 3 minutes of time myself there, and I reckon that's all it took. So flip that over now. So get yourself a pencil. Sorry, I was disturbed there. So go to your 3/4 inch spot. Don't count that. Just go down to maybe to the center of those two cuts, in the center of that, and mark it. That's going to be your hole. Same over here for your ribbon. And if you get your hole punch, whatever hole punch you use, I just use this old knitting machine one. Punch it out. And that's you ready for that. So now the best thing for you to do is fold up those. You want to fold them and give them a really good crease. You will be opening them out again, but this actually does help to give it a nice finished, clean, crisp finished look. So just hold them down where you can and crease them. You can see it gives it a much nicer outside look. So just do the same to the other side. You can flip them back up again, so long as they've got that good hard crease, and just do the same this side. I mean, this is the trickiest part of this whole box, but when you think it only takes you like 3 to 4 minutes to do the cutting, and then this wee bit of time spent now is worth it. And it only is minutes. So just keep pressing those down nice and crisp. If you think anything is not went right over, just pull it and give it another crease. So you don't want pointy edges at all if you can help it. So I can see some of them just sticking out just that wee bit, and we don't want it. We do not want it. Right, that is it. Push those back out so you've got your nice wee tunnel, and then we're going to join it all up. So the glue I am using is the Tomboy Multi Glue, which I hope is coming out for me. And we're going to go to the smaller circle, and I want this part, the part that has been embossed nearly with the stitching end, I want it to face to the inside. So these are going to be stuck on here. No, these are going to be, tell me what I'm doing here. This way, face that to your inside of the lower piece. Alright, that's where we're going to be starting to stick. So you want to put your glue on. And if you just go to one side and do a strip, if it comes out, Come on, glue. I have been using some glue this past few days. I'll be hesitate. Right, I say do them about 5 strips at a time, and then just go to the crease, the centre crease, and do a wee tiny strip, and then just do another 5. Doesn't take a lot of glue, just a bit, because you're going to be sealing all this up again to keep it nice and secure. See how quick you get down it. So that is our glue ready for there. And this is going to be the inside. So start at this point here. Put that in so it's nice and straight and butted right up. You want it to push straight into the seam there, and then just flip it over and start bringing it in and using your fingers to push that right in there so it's right butted up as close as you can get it. And this one you want to make sure it goes right round, not sticking up. You know, make sure that whole thing goes right. That's the important one to keep you nice. So take a bit of time and let it hold, and then start working around with the rest of them. And just keep pressing and pushing the glue bits down. This is the easy one. The next one's a wee bit more awkward. As I say, it does make a lovely project, and I'm pretty pleased with it, so I hope you'll get a bit of use out of it. And that goes right up to the end, and again make sure that one's nice and rounded. Sorry, I was going out of picture there. Just make sure it's curved nicely in and you're pretty pleased with it. Set it down and give it a wee rub with your bone folder right around the edges. If that pops out, just push that back in. You want to keep it nice and rounded. So that seems okay. I'm happy enough. So now we have to do the other side. So again, pull your wee clipped bits out, and then you need to add your glue, which is a tiny bit awkward because you're working on top of yourself, but just do a couple at a time and work your way down. Just a wee flip of glue. Until you get them all done. That should be okay. And now you want, again, the nice side going to the inside so that it looks nice, you know, anybody peeping into the box. This side nobody's going to see anything. So again, push it, go up to the top there and make sure it's right butted up against that, and then just work your way around. Just making sure that you're nicely in. Once you get those end ones in, they nearly fix themselves. So again, slide in with your bone folder. That looks pretty good. Just make sure all your glue has taken, and you're left with that. This stage, these will be folded through, but we'll want to add our baker's twine, which we will do slightly later. So at this stage now we can add our nice scalloped edges. So I'm just going to go in with this glue, coming out a wee bit quicker for me. Just don't put glue on the scallop part, but close enough to the edge and make sure it's all covered. At this stage, and it doesn't matter about being straight or whatever, just plonk it down, pass that over, and then use the stitched line of this stitched line on the inside. You'll see it, just to line up your box and make sure that it's, you know, as central as you can get it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but till you're happy with it. And then we're going to do the opposite side. So So put it on the inside area, keeping your nice finished embossed bit to the outside. Plonk it down and again go round and just make sure that you're inside the whole way around, just like a wee guideline for you. That seems pretty fine. And you can see it's really starting to take shape and form. And then we can stick these on. And then it's only a matter of you decorating the front whatever way you have, you know, use your own wee stamps or cutouts, die cuts, whatever. Mine are going to be the same as these ones. So now at this stage you want to make sure that your box is the right way so that your hearts are sitting nice. And then plonk them down, making sure you don't want your hearts upside down or whatever, you know. So make sure these two are sitting like so and your hearts are nice and lined. And keep them on the inside of the stitching again. And then the same for the other side. Now, again, just line it up. Paper is so pretty, really is. So now we want to move on and do our baker's twine. And this is the in colour baker's twine. I'm using this one here, it's the matching colour, which is Sweet Sorbet. So I want to use 2 strands of it. So I'm just going to double check what I did. Doesn't need that much because, you know, it does hang down nicely at the back to allow you to get in and out. So I'll just measure that so you know yourself. So you could use ribbon or baker's twine, whatever you have. About 8 inches seems to work, so I'm just folding that over actually. I'm cutting it off there. Now just keep that as is and get yourself some sticky dots. I'm using larger ones, not the wee mini ones. I want a good stick, and these boys are really sticky. So go into where you had the wee flaps and stick your sticky dot to that. I can get my pokey tool out again. They're so sticky, honestly. I shouldn't complain because that's exactly what I need. So you got one on each side of those wee extra flaps of paper that you left over when you were sticking your border. You do need them to be good and sticky. If you haven't got really sticky ones like I have here, you want to use a bit of glue or something then. That's a mess, that one. So you've got your strip. It's divided in half, and we're just going to thread the strip through one side where you punched your hole. So it doesn't need to go in a big bit, just enough to be able to catch it. You can see it poking through there. And at this stage we just want to fold down everything and press it good and hard. And that gives it a good grip. Go around the other side. You have 2 to go through this side because you're doing the double. Go through. Yep, so I'm going to slide it up onto my glue and just press that down. You can give it a wee squash with your, just be careful you squish your scallops while you're at it. But you want that to take, you don't want your ribbon falling off. So that is your wee handbag more or less started, and the only thing that I did different was adding it up here, which you don't really have to do. I just punched 2 wee small hearts using a really small old punch that I had in the matching card. I don't think I've any of it lying about. I forgot to leave it out. So that's all you do. Punch 2 of them, stick one to one side, measure and mark the centre point where your bag will hang nicely. Mark it with a marker. Put one to the back, bit of glue, put one to the front and squeeze them together, and there you have it. And then I just say I used the Happy Valentine's Day in the matching ink again, and I punched the other things out from the paper, and I just added some Wink of Stella for a wee bit of sparkle. You can see it there. And that was it finished. And I may actually stamp something at the back once I know which child's getting which treat box. So that is me finished. I hope it adds something to your crafting, and maybe you'll give it a wee go, and maybe add just some chocolates or a gift voucher or whatever, you know, something nice, a wee handmade card, a wee tiny wee card made for the child or something good. So that is me finished. I'll have everything used linked down below, and hopefully catch us all again next week. Thanks for watching now. Bye.